Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan here. Going to talk about some breathing, best powerlifting, best for strength and powerlifting, and kind of my observations of what I've noticed, giving you my perspective. And this actually will tie into a question someone asked, Simon Kelly, October 17th, when I had that video talking about like what you want to learn. And he asked problems with the levator scapula, serratus, rhomboid minor areas relating to neck problems triggered in the barbell overhead press. Now, what does a barbell overhead press have to do with powerlifting movements or neck pain? Well, one of the recent breathing methods I've learned from Garrett Blevins was talking about how he learned from Chris Duffin about breathing out through a straw, then filling into the brace, and then going down to a squat, deadlift, or bench or whatever. And kind of what I want to tie this into is neck position. Having a neutral neck, having your neck in the ideal position. Because you think about kind of the airway and the pathway, if your neck is forward like a ton, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have I won't say you have a blocked airway, but you have a much more inefficient airway. It's just the way the body works. If I'm like this, crooked to one side, I'm not going to be able to press a much weight above my head. One, center of gravity is messed up, not ideal, but also because my spine is not in a good position. Anytime your body feels like it's going to get hurt or it's at risk for injury, there are things that allow for your body to almost automatically kick in to protect itself. And one way to look at this is like trying to poke my eye. Like, I really can't poke my eye because I keep closing it. I try to I'll keep it open, and it'll close, right? You have these mechanisms that allow you to stay safe, prevent you from getting injured. Similar to the way the eye functions when it needs to protect itself. It's basically automatic. Now, when you are serratus anterior, or not, no, excuse me, when you have neck pain or levator scapula pain, what the cause of this has a lot to do with the neck being forward a lot and then pressing, and it makes this muscle get overused. And I can speak about this problem because I had this killer neck problem months ago, and it actually a year ago. And it killed me, and it was because I was deadlifting too much. And this is my overhanded grip like this, and I hold like this, and then you think about kind of this position, this shoulder comes up more. I guess not. I mean, when the palm is like this, or the arm is facing forward, it's easier to keep the shoulder back, and even if there's a lot of weight on the bar. And typically the underhanded grip is going to be the grip that's weakest. And this is my right hand. I'm right-handed, interestingly enough. The left hand is my stronger hand, or for grip at least. But the tendency is when the palm is down and there's max weight and you're loading lots of weight for reps and you get tired, the arm will have a tendency to want to internally rotate. Now, this is an external rotation position, and you can start to internally rotate, but then there's a lot of room there because you kind of pre-winded that position. Whereas on the left side, my left side, what happens is at max weights, what's happening is the tendency is the shoulder to roll forward and my shoulder to dump forward, and then I'm getting all this kind of stretching effect, overuse effect. Now, depending on your level of strength, if you're really, really strong and you're lifting at a high level, or you've been training for years, this may or may not happen to you. This happened to me last year when I was basically 9 months into the whole deadlifting, powerlifting thing. So I was not quite prepared for some of those issues that occurred. And so anyways, my head is not in an ideal position. My head's probably forward, my shoulders are rounded, and it's kind of creating this sort of pump effect with the shoulders. Too much, and I'm not ready for it. Maybe my traps weren't strong enough, my lats weren't strong enough, probably all of the above. But tying this into what I mean by like the best powerlifters is that it's just interesting because I've seen this a lot of people. I don't know if you probably notice this, is that when someone takes a breath and you see them about to squat big weight, this is what you almost see, especially of some of the maybe the less popular lifters or lifters that aren't famous, is they'll take a deep breath and they pull their chin back. They tuck their chin back and they pull their head back. Brett Contreras called it neck packing. Basically making a double chin. I don't think they necessarily, maybe they do it on purpose, I don't know, but if you think about the breathing pattern that I learned from Garrett, actually I learned this at Juggernaut Fitness, JTS, Juggernaut Training Systems, video I watched on there with Ryan. He's one of the like physical therapist guys, is talking about getting good breathing. If you're part of that membership, you may have seen that video, but You take a deep breath in, filling your stomach, then having it go into your lower back, then fill your lungs into your chest, and then fill up into your upper back. So, and automatically, when you take this big breath, this huge breath, your spinal column automatically sort of elongates. And it's not really, I guess it is elongating, but what's happening is the spine is getting into neutral, or more neutral, if that was even a word, but you're getting into neutral. So I'm like this, take a deep breath from a rounded position. Sure, I get a deep breath, but it's not efficient. There's not enough space. But if I take a deep breath to where I'm supposed to, into my belly, into my diaphragm, if I take it in my soul, I'm going to go belly, back, chest, and upper back. And you see my chin automatically pulls back. When I did this, I was like, holy crap, my head's going back. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not trying to go like that. I'm just breathing. And it just automatically goes back. It's almost like I'm trying to get more air and get longer breath to fill my torso with air, so that way I create all this pressure, and then when I go down to a squat or into a deadlift or a bench, I'm able to have more pressure to maintain proper stiffness in my body, in my core, so that I can stabilize more weight. And this kind of ties into the idea that if your neck and shoulders are where they're supposed to be, and you have good head positioning, what's going to end up happening is you are not going to get this overuse of the levator scapula, because then what's happening when your head's forward, the levator scapula is having to work a lot harder. And I kind of have to like double check what the levator scapula does, or the exact function of it does, but I'm not going to even go over it right now because I'm already making this video. Attaches here to the base of the skull, kind of comes down to here, and it kind of twists a little bit. So if it contracts and shortens, it's basically doing this. It's going this movement, right? So it's like basically turning my head and going, I'm extending the neck, right? So think about how much neck extension there is, how much work is required if my head is forward, or my shoulders are rounded and my head's forward, right? And if I'm in neutral, how much do I have to work to, how hard does that levator need to work? This concept or idea applies to other muscles in the body, which is why being in neutral position is really, really important, because the breathing, one of the things because breathing is where it should be, and one of the things I've been kind of teaching clients lately is teaching them how to breathe. I don't even teach them how to activate their core, because if they know how to breathe, their core is going to activate like it should, where they're breathing through their belly, they're breathing through stiffness. Because a lot of the time when a beginner is lifting, I'm teaching this 65-year-old lady how to deadlift off blocks, right, just with a barbell. And the thing that I really need to focus on, making sure she stays stiff in the stomach, staying tight in the core. And a lot of time people hold their breath without basically using their breathing muscle to stay tight. And sure, at max weights that makes sense. You want to create that Valsalva pressure, but you don't want, that's not what you want for a beginner. You want them to stay tight and still be able to breathe. So that's sort of a kind of a way of looking at one thing, the breathing and staying tight, but understanding that if you have good breathing, you're going to have very good lifting patterns. Your muscles will activate better, everything will work like it should. And I can't tell you enough how important it is. If you want to get good at powerlifting, and as annoying as like the mundane simple stuff that just seem almost remedial, are very essential to getting strong at powerlifting. I'm telling you this right now because one of the things I do when I drive to work is I practice breathing, I practice bracing, I practice how I would do for a squat or for a bench or deadlift, so that way I can get that pattern down. Because a lot of time when you're trying to lift the most amount of weight, it's really just pattern recognition. It's being able to do these patterns over and over again like they're second nature. Because when you have 100% on the bar, 105% on the bar going for a PR, you know, the more oxygen, the more pressure you can create, the faster you're going to be able to move, the stronger you're going to be. And I think that's where I'll end it. You know, it's just understanding like these remedial stuff like breathing, posture, you know, and I think posture is always misunderstood, and that makes people think they have to be like this, you know, and you kind of do, but if you're breathing correctly and you have and you move well, you're not going to have those problems. So I think breathing is kind of the first place to start. I'll probably make a instructional video about it later in the future as soon as I understand more about it and can talk more about it, make a really good video. But I got some video reviews on some headphones that I'm using and some elbow sleeve that I use in some of my videos. Just haven't had the time to put it together. Those videos are of higher quality. I use my DSLR camera. I do voiceover, and those take a lot longer time to put together. So I'm gonna try to do some editing tomorrow and maybe have something up by next week. But that's kind of what I got planned. But these videos here are easy to make, and I like talking about it, and it also teaches me that I need to do this stuff. So anyways, hope you got something from this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you got the breathing thing down, because I know there are some people out there that watch me that are stronger than me, and I would love to hear kind of what you do to get stronger, stay strong. I mean, to really get that breath, that pressure, so that you can, you know, squat 400 pounds on a regular basis, deadlift 600 pounds, or in the high 500s on a regular basis. Because I mean, I lift heavy deadlifts, but my bench and my squats suck. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next video.